Do you remember being a child when a delivery van would pull up in your street and the smell of fresh bread filled the air? It's a sight that's almost disappeared now, just like the van in today's story. And today we're looking at a very personal restoration. This 1966 Ford Anglia van. Now, this has survived storage for decades, but today turns heads at every classic car show. These vans were originally known as the Thames van, but by 1965 they were simply called the Anglia van, and they came in 500 and 700 weight options.
My father was a baker, and during the 50s and 60s he always ran 2 vans on the road because we had about 500 households we used to deliver to. One of those vans, which he bought new in 1961, was a Comma Express delivery van. By 1969, that Comma, it completely rusted out, and it was a really bad advert for the bakery business. An Anglia, 64 Anglia van came on the market, and it was very clean, one owner, and we fitted a partition to it. He bought it for £120, which I thought was quite a bargain, and he used that for 3 or 4 years until he retired in the early 70s. I by that time had passed my test, and when the bread roundsmen were on holiday, I would go out and do relief bread delivering, which I quite enjoyed, going around the houses, meeting the lady housewives and things. It was a smashing gearbox, easy to drive, easy to manoeuvre, and the Anglia made quite an impression on me, really.
That impression stayed with you though for decades, didn't it?
It did, yeah. Yeah, I always liked the van, and there wasn't, you didn't see hardly any of them on the road. And I thought, well, I think I'd like to get one and restore it, maybe replicate it as a baker's van with the shelving and stuff in the back. So I started looking for one, and a man from Kent who happened to be in Essex visiting his family at the time saw my ad, and he rang me up, and I went and looked at the van down in Kent, and he'd found it in Barkingside in East London. It had been in a lockup there for 23 years.
Wow.
And ironically, its MOT, its last MOT, ran out on the day our daughter was born.
Wow.
So I thought,
that's
this
fate.
has got to be the one for me.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
And how much did you pay for it?
We negotiated, and I got it for £300. There's not many of these left on the road, really, because they were workhorses, and they were all worked to death. And by the time the first user had finished using them, you know, the builder or something who'd carried half a ton of stuff round in it, and it had gone on to some boy racer lad, they were nearly all finished after 8 years old. So I got it up on axle stands and stripped all the mechanical parts off it and all the body panels. One of the odd things that had happened was in its early life, somebody had coated the whole of the inside with underseal, presumably to stop some of the panels drumming and cut down the noise a bit. So I had quite a few nights scraping off all this underseal very carefully to try and preserve the paintwork underneath.
Crikey, that must have taken some time.
Well, it did, yeah. In the meantime, I overhauled all the mechanical parts on it. Everything came apart. I also found a 1500 engine from a Ford Corsair, which fitted in just nicely. And unless you're a purist, you wouldn't really know it was a 1500 engine just looking at it.
Yeah. What about the paintwork?
Yeah, the paintwork. Well, when I'd got it all up and running and driving, I started on the paintwork. I stripped every bit of paint off it and started doing some prep work on it. And I realised I couldn't really do it justice working in my garage. It would have come out all different shades of green, no doubt. But I happened to mention it to a friend whose brother had a body shop, and he took it on. And he made a brilliant job of it, as can be seen. And it's probably now far better than it was when it came out of Dagenham.
Colin, it was a very basic vehicle, wasn't it? But you could have a few options when they were new, couldn't you?
Yeah, well, the 500 weight was very basic. It didn't come with a sun visor or a passenger seat or a heater. The 700 weight was far better equipped. That came with most of those options anyway. And there was quite a bit of chrome on the 700 weight, which this one is.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more money it was at the time, but
I think it was about £25. I was having a look. It's about £25 for the extra. I think I'd rather pay the 25 quid. But of course, £25 back then was quite a bit more money.
it was, yeah, it was several weeks, a couple of weeks' wages.
Exactly.
For somebody.
Now it's 25 quid's nothing.
No.
But let's have a little look how this car goes, shall we? So let us know what you think of the Ford Anglia van. Leave your messages in the comments below. Don't forget to like, to share, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode of Classic Car Stories. But stay tuned and watch this episode all about the Mark II Cortina Lotus, which cost just £100.